At least there are some new free-to-play games on the Xbox One. This is the First Descendant or the Last Descendant? It's the First Descendant on the Xbox One. It's a game that I downloaded last night. I wanted to actually download Marvel Rivals, and apparently that's only an Xbox Series game, as expected. So I just said, you know what? Let's play this one instead. I had another online only game that I was sampling on my PlayStation 4. What game was that? It was uh, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. But that's a 5-hour demo that requires me to be online, so I'm not gonna mess with that just yet. I am curious how this particular game runs on my Xbox One, so we'll see how it goes. I believe this is a Korean joint, if I'm not mistaken. Well, but that's not gonna help me out. We got a Korean voice acting. You're probably not gonna be able to hear it. I'll crank it up if I have to. Okay, of course I'm going around. The anime bunny lady is gonna go ahead. Okay, so what's the other way around? Is there a waypoint? I can press the right stick. This detective mode? Oh, there we go. I might need to adjust the. Maybe I need to. Yeah, I might need to adjust the brightness. I'm pretty sure I adjusted it before I started recording this video. Just a second. I have to hold down the start button to go to a menu. Let's see what we got. What options we got? Motion blur's on, because, I mean, come on, it's Xbox One. We're trying to do here. Cross-platform play, I might turn that off. Lots of shimmer here in the scrolling. That's not amazing. Is there... Yeah, I was hoping there'd be a way. In Warframe, there's a way for me to play offline, so people don't start interrupting me. We'll see how it goes. If people start being massively noxious, I might have to turn them off. Yeah, turn down the sound effects. So we can turn up the... Well, I can hear the music, so that won't be a problem. We'll turn down the music and turn up the voices. That's fine. Battle voice might be turned off eventually. This is a research stream, in case you're wondering. I literally just started it. There were 3 characters to choose from. I chose the lady because she's the Ryu of this game. And I guess people will get mad and they'll think that I'm woke if I don't choose a woman for this video, so we'll see how it goes. Why is the vibration so strong? Maybe it's one of those video games. Maybe it's one of those Korean video games. You gotta have strong vibrations to play these games, I've been told. I mean, I've been told this game is... I haven't been told this game's worth playing. I've been told some of the female characters in it are pulchritudinous. I don't know what that means in terms of the gameplay, because no one seems to talk about the gameplay in this game. They talk about the skins. Literally. So let's see if this game's actually good. I don't play many free to play always online games on this channel, but I do like to sample them once in a while to see if any of them are any good. Warframe's probably the most popular one I play. Well, Warframe and Genshin Impact, obviously. Genshin Impact is fine. It's a solid B- game. It probably gets pretty repetitive later on because there's a lot of content I didn't want to engage with in that game because the combat isn't really that big of a deal. So I still think that's a game where exploring is arguably better than like getting into fights with mobs. It's not really that deep. Warframe's a much better game in that sense. Hey, girl. Hey, let's go, Miriko. Is it Mirko or Miriko? I forgot her name. The My Hero Academia anime bunny lady. And there's also the Ariute village over in Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age, right? I have now how many Korean games have I played on this channel? Yeah, man. This isn't my first. No, I played Arcus the Odyssey game. Ragnarok Odyssey Ace on the PlayStation 3, which I have back there in my closet. That's the first Korean game on this channel. I want to say that's the first Korean game I've played. As far as like game that was created and published in China or created and published in Korea. I want to say Korea helped out with some Japanese games that I've played in the past, but I don't know if they actually developed any of the Japanese games I played on this channel before. But I have not heard Korean voice acting in any of the games I've played before on this channel, I want to say. But yeah, after this, it's Stellar Blade, and I think there's one, yeah, Nikkei. Was it Nikkei the Goddess, I think it's called? That's a Korean game, right? So some of this stuff is making its way out of Korea here to North America. So I'm curious how it plays out. Yeah, so this definitely feels like a downported Xbox One game. Like it feels like a PlayStation 5 game that's been downported to run on the Xbox One with lower settings. I have not played Warframe on this. Yeah, I have not played Warframe on the Xbox One before. But I obviously I played like 100 hours of Warframe on like the PS4. So the PS4 version of Warframe, I think that was actually a launch title for the PS4. So that looks like the kind of game that was made for the PS4, and it just looks better on a PS5. So when I eventually get a PS5 in the year 2028, I guess, one of the games I would play is definitely Warframe. Like I would download, well, assuming it's even online by then. Like if you want to play Warframe at 120 frames a second, you're gonna have to buy it soon, I guess. Because remember, if you get a new video game, well, if I got a new PS5, the first thing I do is plug in all my old PlayStation 4 games and just see if they run better. And I play, well, I would definitely play Just Cause 3. I want to say there was a patch for that, so that it runs at 60 frames a second now. Yeah. Bit of hitching here. Pretty sure I saw this in Control. Yeah, we're officially in the black cube part of Control. Is there a grappling hook? Yeah, LBA. No. RB. So there are 2 grappling hooks I can do? Or is there... Yeah, so I guess the grappling hook's on a cooldown. You can do 2 grapples before you're allowed to do another, before the cooldown ends. So I guess that's a mechanic where... So the grappling hook's on a... So like in Just Cause 2, you have a grappling hook. But unlike Just Cause 2, the grappling hook has a cooldown attached to it. So you can do 2 grapples to get out of trouble. Then you have to wait till the cooldown period ends. Rotate. So you have a bit more movement on your grappling hook in this game. That's pretty cool. On a somewhat related note, I mean, I bought Fatal Bullet, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, like about 6 or 7 years ago on the PlayStation 4. It's an offline game. It's a regular video game with an online component, but it's a it's a shoot 'em up. It's a shoot 'em up like this, a character action shooter with a grappling hook like this game. But in Fatal Bullet, the grappling hook is just sort of an accessory. It's like in Just Cause 2 and Just Cause 3. In the Just Cause sequels, the grappling hook is essential to your traversal. The way you get around in that game is by using that grappling hook. It's integrated entirely into your moveset. And in Just Cause 3, it gets way better, of course, because they integrate it with your wingsuits. You can do all kinds of wacky stuff. So they invested that game's gameplay, its open world gameplay, around your ability to use that grappling hook for almost everything, including, of course, the ability to like grapple onto cars, and you can grapple onto cars and then make them flip over, like that kind of thing. And I want to say, even to this day, no video game really leans into its grappling hook the way that Just Cause 3 does. I mean, games like added as like an extra way to get around. Like even like Horizon Forbidden West does that. But very few games to this day lean into that grappling. Even Spider-Man games on the PS4 don't lean into grappling in the same way. Because obviously, when you're playing Spider-Man, you can traverse around the city, but ultimately you're not like. How do I say this? When you're in combat, you can use your webs to like grapple enemies and pull them towards you, to like stun enemies. But in Just Cause 3, you're like grappling on the buildings, you're interacting with objects and whipping, and you're taking two enemies and making them butt heads with it. Like, there's a bit more versatility in the grappling ability in that game than there is even in a Spider-Man game. But Spider-Man is basically, it's a very good fusion of Batman, of the Arkham fighting, the Arkham combat, with the Spider-Man 2 like traversal system when you're in the open world. When you're wandering around the open world, there's a lot of that. But yeah, Just Cause 3, I think Just Cause 2 and 3 are the games that said, look, it's not just a game where you're just like swinging from tree to tree. It's not a game where you're like swinging through, a jungle gym. It's like this is an island and there are buildings in it, and you can use your grappling hook for everything, including combat. But it's not a melee. It's not a melee fighting game like Spider-Man. Just Cause 2 obviously isn't a melee combat game like Spider-Man is. I should probably be skipping all this crap. A lot of hitching going on. Yeah, a lot of stuttering, so that's unfortunate. Not unexpected for an Xbox One. I mean, I figure the game's more demanding visually than like Warframe was. But I am curious how Warframe runs on this console. I might download it later, but I'm not really committed to it because I already have Warframe on my Nintendo Switch. In fact, I need to play it again. It's been a couple of months. Yeah, I want to say I haven't played Warframe on the Switch since since May of this year, actually, like right around April, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say I played it over Easter with family. There was a family visiting, and I played a lot of Warframe on my Switch while I was watching Seinfeld reruns. So I put in several hours. So I was kind of like warming up my. I was kind of warming up. Can't grapple. Fine. Reload with the square button or the X button. Excuse me. A lot of motion blur, but it works. I want to say this game's running at 30 frames a second, so I'm capturing at 30. If I figure out later it's running at 60, I'll adjust. On a related note, I'm playing this on a Samsung television. It's my 19-inch Samsung. So lower input latency than on this capture device. I got it. Was it a Vanco? I got a Vanco USB capture device. It has an HDMI pass through. So I'm playing on my TV while I capture, so I can see the input latency on my laptop, which is expected. I say this TV has about 2 frames of lag, so it's not terrible, really. Remember, this game runs at 30 frames a second, so like 40 milliseconds of lag on a game with on a TV with 2 frames of lag. That's not terrible. Because remember, 30 frames a second with 40 milliseconds of lag is basically what? It's basically 1 frame of lag at 30 FPS. I think it's what? Is it 16.6 milliseconds on a 60 hertz? On a 60 hertz display, I want to say. So yeah, if you're playing at 60 frames a second, you want a TV with less lag. But playing a game like this, it's fine. I had to uninstall Sonic Frontiers to install this game, which is fine. I can always reinstall Sonic Frontiers later. I bought that game for about $15 a couple of weeks ago when it was on clearance after Thanksgiving. Maybe it'll be on sale again maybe it'll be on sale again near Christmas. Because Sonic Frontiers is the kind of game where you can spend less than $20 on that game and enjoy yourself. Like I bought again for $15. I was willing to buy Sonic Frontiers, and I just played the Switch version on this channel. I'll put that up eventually. I did a 1 hour frame rate test. Runs at 30 frames a second, pretty well actually. I'd say. From my experience, in other words, there was a lot of pop in when you're in the open world, obviously, but when you're when you're in the self-contained, linear stages, the traditional Sonic stages, runs at a very solid 30. So that again, for on a Nintendo Switch, it punches above its weight in that game. So that's good. So thankfully, like Sky, well, it's not like Sky, like no, it's better than No Man's Sky, I would argue, on the Switch. Switch is good on No Man's Sky is good on the Switch. Not amazing, but it's good. Hold on. Darn it. Oh well. He's down. Controls are kind of loose, so I'm gonna have to fidget. I'm gonna have to fidget with the vertical aiming controls. Give me a second. Hopefully the game is paused. Because remember, in some of these online games, some of these always online games, you can't pause. So if you have to go to the bathroom or something or answer a phone call, you can't pause the game. In Warframe, you can, because if you're playing offline, the game itself is paused. At least if you're not in one of those. If you're on one of those planets that's like a hub area, I want to say the game isn't paused. But I want to say if you're playing like in like a regular stage, I want to say it's paused. But not in the big overworlds. Demos and all that. But like I said, I need to pause games. If I'm not a parent, but I know gamer parents, they gotta be able to pause video games, talk to their kids. You gotta use the bathroom, gotta answer the door, gotta take phone calls. What's the control? Cursor speed, don't have to worry about that. Might have to adjust the sensitivity on the x-axis. I don't know what aim sensitivity means technically. Let's lower that a bit. If nothing else, I might make it tighter. Dead zone, I'm gonna have to adjust the dead zone, honestly. We'll see how it goes. It might not be terrible. But I'm glad they give you the option. This feels a little bit tighter, yeah. So this makes it a little bit easier so it's easier to make precise movements here. So the aiming isn't as quick, but it does the job. It might make it easier for me to make adjustments, yeah. The vertical aiming sensitivity is lower than the horizontal aiming sensitivity. But again, it makes it easier to make precise movements, so that's what I'm trying to do. I want to aim quickly and precisely without, a lot of slipperiness. So tightening these controls will work. In Warframe, this is almost never a problem, by the way. Don't need the health, so we're fine. I think if you press the left stick, you can run faster. There's no bullet jumping in this game, is there? Cool. Sub. What is a sub attack? When it's on cooldown, swing your firearm to perform a weak. Okay. Alright. Just bust him in the mouth, I guess. A lot of hitching here. You see the hitching. I'm capturing the footage here, folks. Left trigger, right trigger. So LB and RB together is a melee attack. That's on a cooldown, as you can see on below my feet. That little fist right there, the little One Punch Man symbol. Okay, I guess that's what that is. Okay, fine. So I only have one skill right now. It's my ability to throw ice. Amazing. So I'm an ice mage with a gun. I'm like Frosta with a gun from She-Ra. Actually, Frosta was from He-Man. Yeah, Frosta was from He-Man. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm literally Frosta from He-Man. I'm the Ice Queen. Frost Road slows down enemies. Frost Shards. So it's got splash damage. Actual blizzard. AoE sounds amazing. Okay, how we doing? I mean, the game does look okay. It doesn't look as good as, say, like Gears of War, Gears 5, but it looks pretty good. Why do I even need to use my magic at this point? I guess I have unlimited ammo. LB, wrong button. LBA. What I did was not good. That was bad aim, basically. RBA. No, it's LBA. B? There we go. LBB. So I got LBY. MP full is good. MPY. I can't do that. LBX. Can't do no X. LBX. Is that AoE? Right trigger. Okay. All right. So LBX starts, charges up the tornado, and then I can release it with the right trigger, I guess. You just have to aim it. So we're on cool. So we're doing Diablo-like cooldowns. That's fine. Yeah, the gun feels okay. So the gun aiming controls feel okay. I should be playing like Mario. Should be playing Mario or something. But we're gonna play this instead. Like I said, I want while I'm testing, while I have some free bandwidth, I want to at least test out some of these free-to-play games. Like I said, I was kind of in the mood to kind of test out grappling hook. There we go, right bumper. I was in the mood to test out Marvel Rivals, but I forgot it's a next generation only game. So I mean, whatever. Too bad Marvel Heroes shut down. That was supposed to be a good Diablo clone, wasn't it? Bunny, Odia. Bunny, Undepe. Oh yeah, didn't that Lord of the Rings anime come out this weekend? I'll double check. Because we're at that, everyone's doing best of the year content now. So like, I think Roger Ebert's website has the best of the year list, and then of course the individual contributors have their own 10 best lists. They're doing like a giant bomb thing. The movie of the year, according to the Roger Ebert crew, was The Brutalist, which I believe is a story about a Hungarian architect, I believe. It's being compared to like There Will Be Blood. So I'm curious about that one. Yeah, a lot of pixelation going on here, so it's not amazing. So yeah, this feels like the laptop version or the low spec PC version of a PS5 game. So that's unfortunate. So it probably looks better on it's gonna look better on the Xbox Series consoles, obviously. But I'm glad they at least made it available on the Xbox One. I'm fairly certain this thing isn't gonna run on a Switch. But there are lots of weird games that are available on the Switch, but now on the Xbox One. So I'm always kind of curious about what... I mean, I guess the argument is that if it's a Japanese game, they'll ignore the Xbox One. If it's a fighting game, they'll put it out on the Switch, but they'll ignore the Xbox One. Some fighting games come out on the Switch, but aren't available on the Xbox One. I want to say the Marvel Fighting Collection is not available on the Xbox One, which is terrible. But the Switch version, I'm curious about the Switch version. I actually got the Marvel Fighting Collection on Nintendo Switch a few hours ago. So I'll muck around with that later, because I will play Super Puzzle Fighter on this channel, because I want to say I did play it on the PS1 Classic. I played the PlayStation 1 port on the PS1 Classic a few years ago, which I haven't played. I might pull that out next year. I'm not really super into playing PS1 games right now. I mean, I'll get around to it. I've been feeding to play some more Vagrant Story. I want to get some HD footage of Vagrant Story. Well, I don't think I have any real showpiece games because, like I said, I played Rayman on this channel, but that was just a research stream because I'm not gonna. I don't like Rayman games that much. You know it is. But yeah, if I was PS1, obviously I play Final Fantasy Tactics on this channel. So if you want to see me play a good PS1 game, you can watch me play Final Fantasy Tactics. It doesn't look ugly as sin. Like unlike those 3D PlayStation 1 games, Final Fantasy Tactics art style mostly holds up. So there is that. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Some Colossus. Well, okay. Well, so I got to grapple on, huh? Okay. Pressing the right stick to use X to displace this. Okay. So that's the detective mode. When a part turns yellow, you can fire the grappling. Okay. So you have to shoot it, then grapple onto it, and then you can hold on like in Dragon's Dogma. Okay. Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah, this is that Shadow of the Colossus with a mech game that I've heard people talk about. It's like, yes, you can play Shadow of the Colossus with anime robots. Okay. Thanks for the tutorial. So it's yellow. That can't be good. Wrong button. Right bumper. How do I grapple onto it? Maybe I can't grapple onto it. Fine. There we go. Gotta get closer. Left trigger to hold on. You press the right trigger to punch. So left trigger, right trigger. That was weird. Got him in the eye. So I gotta get close and get the other shoulder. Hit him with the shoulder lean. I can't grapple onto him. There we go. I gotta get really close to him. Hold on. Hold on with the left trigger. And now I can do the right trigger to release it. Bust it off. Alright. Bust him in the eye. I bust him in the eye. I gotta go to the other side, I guess. Let's get really close. Reload. Yep, done. Okay, it wasn't that hard. Which is good. I'm not sure how I feel about this game, so kind of a puzzle boss. Yeah, kind of a puzzle boss. Okay, I'm already losing interest in the lore, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, this feels like a low-spec PC version of a game that's supposed to be played on the PS5. So if I were to play this on my PC, it probably might look like this. Although my desktop PC is kind of on the fritz. My hard drive might be borked, so I'm gonna have to do some surgery on it, which is too bad because I had a license on that laptop, which means if I download it again, I might be able to like re-download it and reinstall the operating system. Like I work in tech support, so I know how to like do rebuilds if I have to. So I'm thinking Yeah, if I have to rebuild that laptop with Windows 10, I know the process. I know the recovery process. I don't have anything. Obviously I have some saved game content that didn't get synchronized to Steam, so that's kind of disappointing. So I might have to replay some. I might have to replay some progress on my Steam games, but I'm not terribly upset about it. I mean, there are a couple of games that are like really there are a couple of games that are really kind of like huge. So if I have to re-download those, that might be annoying. But most of my games have been backed up, so I'm not really worried about that. What was that? Did they kick me out? Did they kick me out? I'm still online. Yeah, they kicked me out, dog. Okay, I'll we'll see how bad the load times are then. Okay, so we'll end the video, but we'll see how bad the load times are. It's booted me off the server. What, was I too slow? But yeah, but I'm playing on a. It's not a fast connection. I want to say I was getting maybe what kind of speed was I getting? Well, at my peak, I was getting maybe 400 kilobytes a second, so it's not amazing. Yeah, ideally, I'm able to get a megabyte and a half, or I'm able to get a megabyte and a half per second with this hotspot that I'm using. But most of the time, I'm stuck at I'm stuck at 500 kilobytes. But it's not terrible. Strangely enough, when I'm downloading Steam games, I want to say I'm getting probably 2 megabytes a second. So I'm willing to bet the mobile service provider, the ISP, the internet service provider. I'm willing to bet they're prioritizing Steam traffic. But if I'm just streaming crap on my Xbox One, they might be slowing it down. I would not be shocked. Again, when you're using bandwidth like this, I'm not really that picky. Like, I'm not really that needy when I play video games. Like I said, if I'm playing, I can play Warframe on a. I can confirm that Warframe works on like a 90 kilobyte collection. Like, I want to say it also. I want to say it worked at like what was it, 768 kilobits per second. So we're talking about like faster than dial-up, but like not that fast. So Warframe will work even on a really slow connection. Gems of War does too. I want to say 100 kilobytes a second is more than fast enough for those two games. For something like Genshin Impact, I'm not sure. Of course, you also have to download them, so that might be a thing. Now, what were my options here? I thought I turned down the vibration, by the way. Did they forget my settings? I just want to say Warframe has never done this to me, so playing this game for half an hour, then kicking me off is not a great sign. Just saying. Of course, Warframe is also like what, a decade old at this point. If someone made a comment on Twitter, I want to say, where it's like, look, dude, Cyberpunk 2024 is a. They said the PS4 is like a 10-year-old system, yeah, but it wasn't a 10-year-old system when Cyberpunk came out. It was technically only 6 years old. But it was this idea where it's like, guys, you made a Deus Ex game that runs no better than a PS3 Deus Ex game. So this is more powerful hardware, and you made a game that runs no better than a game from 2010. Get with the program is my argument. In other words, don't put the onus on me, the consumer, to spend hundreds of dollars for an upgrade I don't need because the developer, or in this case the publisher, refuses to make their game accessible to low-end hardware that people actually own that can then be upgraded down the line. For example, if you play Deus Ex Human Revolution on a PC from 2014, and you get a faster piece of hardware, it will run even better when you get your upgrade. Like, I got Skyrim, obviously, and now I can play it in 4K. It's a game that was made for PlayStation 3s, and yet I have more powerful hardware and it runs even better. So instead of making a game that looks decent and runs well on a PS4, they made a game that basically requires a PS5 or arguably an Xbox Series S. I want to say the Series S runs well. So how we doing this? We'll start the game. Actually, we'll end the video once I start the game here. I just want to see how bad the load times are. So during my ranting, you got a chance to get a feel for how well the game runs on a 400 kilobyte per second connection. So there is that. So it's a regular launch Xbox One, the Xbox TV, I guess, the Xbox One VHS, the infamous. But again, look, guys, people clown the Xbox One. It's way more powerful than the Switch is. I think there might be like two games that run better on the Switch than on the Xbox One, and one of them is what is it? Alien Isolation runs better on the Switch than the Xbox One does, and the PS4, because apparently the PS4 had like a wacky uncapped frame rate that wasn't held steady, and there was no anti-aliasing, I've been told. So the Switch version comes out, and I think it's Feral Interactive who did the. But I want to say it was a European developer did the Switch port of that game. Okay, we'll be back in a second. So yeah, it looks better on the Switch because they added temporal anti-aliasing, so it looks better on a Nintendo Switch, and they lock the frame rate to 30 frames a second, and it works. So that's the ideal. We'll be back later. That was my research stream for First Descendant. We'll come back with more of this in a second. I recorded this on my. First of all, I'm recording this on my Plantronics headset, plugged into my Vanco capture device. Like I said, HDMI pass through to my Samsung TV. Capturing the footage on my quad-core Celeron 1 gigahertz laptop with Windows 10 Education Pro. The Windows 10 camera app is capturing this footage at 30 frames a second because let's not kid ourselves. It's an Xbox One game. So a game like this is going to run at 30. We'll see how we do. First Descendant, Last Descendant. I can never remember the title. The First Descendant on the Xbox One. Let me at least get the version number so you know what version. Because I'm recording this in December of 2024. So let's see what we got. Yep, version 1.1412. Okay.